The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy.
Hey everybody, so I just finished up reading The November Girl by Lydia Kang. So if you've ever heard the song by Gordon Lightfoot called The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, this is basically what this book is almost kind of about. It's a little out there. It is a little YA meets a little horror, but maybe in the best of both worlds. Main characters you've got going here, you've got Hector, who comes from a bad home situation. He's got a mother he hasn't heard from, a father who is off doing military duty, who never sees him and just sends letters. And so he lives with his uncle, who is not the nice guy that he pretends to be to everybody else. So he decides to make a run for it, and where to go other than, a remote island in the middle of Lake Superior to stay away from everybody. Goes during the off season, plans on just kind of hiding out because by the time it opens up for tourists again, he's going to be 18 and he can do whatever he wants. On the other hand, you've got Anda, a young girl who is part human and part force of nature. And I'm not saying that as any sort of metaphor. She's got a father who is human, works on the island. He leaves every November with the rest of the tour and then comes back in December because she does what she needs to do. Her mother is an actual force of nature. You got these two people living on this island. She has never really been all in touch with her human part. In fact, most people can't really see her, but he sees her, and that intrigues her because this has never happened to her before. He tries to put together what he expects in his head to what he keeps seeing her do, and it doesn't make much sense. Not to mention the fact that mommy's mad because she's not doing what she's supposed to do every November. And if you know anything about the Witch of November, you know what's going on. If you don't, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to read the book. So I will let you know this. At the beginning of this book, when I first started reading it, I was actually a little disappointed, and I was kind of leaning towards a 3 on this book. But about 4 or 5 chapters in, and they are super short chapters, but about 4 or 5 chapters in, I realized my disappointment wasn't with the writing. It's what I went into this book expecting. I knew it was based off the idea of the Witch of November, and I was expecting a much more magical period piece, and this is a modern day take on it. Once I let go of what I expected the book to be and read it for what it was written, I'm actually leaning much more towards a 4, maybe even a 5. I'm probably going to make this a 5 on Goodreads because I don't know for the life of me what I think I'm missing to get from that 4 to 5. But it's definitely a high 4 for me. If you go in with no preconceived notions of what this book is going to be about, I think you're going to love it. That's all I'm going to say about that. It takes you emotionally, it takes you everywhere. This is not what I would consider a run-of-the-mill YA book, nor is it a super dark horror book, but I think it's a perfect blending of the two. And yeah, I love it. I can't figure out where in the world I found 2 covers for this book. I don't know where that other cover came from. I found it on the internet. I've never seen that particular cover of the book. But I actually prefer the where am I pointing? Pointing over here. I actually like the cover that I have because of the fact that I feel like I just killed a minion. I feel like this is a much stronger picture of what actually the book would be. It's much more evocative. Don't get me wrong, I like that dark red heart on the front, but this one I feel is much more in touch with the actual story in the book. Anyhow, give it a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I haven't read anything by Lydia Kang yet that has disappointed me, so yeah, I'm probably gonna have to find something else of hers to read now. All right, have a good one, guys.
In a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early.